The Theodore Roosevelt Sanctuary is the National Audubon Society's oldest sanctuary. This year we celebrate our 75th anniversary. The sanctuary was established in 1923 when Emlyn Roosevelt, a cousin of Theodore, deeded 12 acres of land to the Audubon Society. The purpose of the sanctuary at that time, and continues into the present, was the preservation of birds. Earlier in the century, many species of birds were in decline. Some had been exterminated altogether by market hunters, farming, habitat loss of various kinds. And it was felt that birds needed a sanctuary, and that was the beginning of the Theodore Roosevelt Sanctuary, and its purpose was strictly bird preservation. As the years went on and the sanctuary's grounds evolved from a brushy, sort of overgrown field to the present climax forest, the mission of the sanctuary also changed somewhat. Not only were the grounds then a sanctuary for birds, but it also became a center of education about why preserving birds is important. The mission of the sanctuary today is really twofold: to educate the public on the importance of the conservation of birds and other wildlife and their habitats, and also to make a safe haven for birds here in a very populated area. To do that, we conduct many research programs around birds and their habitats, and we have an extensive education outreach program, which probably is the largest of its kind on Long Island. Our programs are in various areas, from birds through reptiles to mammals to marine ecology. We run the gamut of all kinds of environmental and conservation issues. Long Island has many very important habitats for birds and other wildlife. We sit right in the Atlantic flyway. That means that millions of birds pass through our area on their way to summer nesting grounds, and then in the fall on their return to their wintering grounds. And so we get many, many different kinds of birds through here, and that helps us to realize the importance of Long Island to birds and other animals. So that's why at TR Sanctuary we are increasing the conservation component of our work. We are involved in several bird surveys, habitat restoration work, and land use issues, and we will be expanding the land use issue component of our work. Certainly most people on Long Island know the importance of our pine barrens, and even though those are much further east of here, because we are all Long Islanders, we have to all be involved together in protecting these kinds of important habitats. Here in Oyster Bay, we have an incredible resource in the Long Island Sound and in the bay itself, and we'll be involved in some efforts to begin restoring some of our wetlands around the bay.
I'm Jay Tayan. I'm the Assistant Director of the Theodore Roosevelt Sanctuary. The sanctuary was started in 1923 mainly as a songbird preserve, a place for wildlife to live relatively in peace. We're only 12 acres, so that's not a lot of room really for wildlife, but what we have done is we've expanded not in terms of our space, but in terms of our message. We annually reach over 100,000 people through our education programs, and we're fairly well known throughout Long Island and New York City and Connecticut even for our quality environmental education programs. And we teach children mostly, but also organizations ask us to come in and teach adults and even in universities about wildlife conservation. And one of the main ways we do that is through the use of live animals, like this red-tailed hawk. We keep animals, right now we have about 30 birds of prey covering 14 species in our aviary behind us. And those include eagles and falcons and owls and other sorts of hawks. And these are all animals that can't be released back out into the wild. Some of them have physical injuries. Some of them, like this bird here, were taken out of the wild when they were very young and can't be put back. They don't know how to survive. And so we'll use these birds to take into the classroom and teach children about the importance of preserving open space for wildlife. And these birds up close really give people a better understanding and an appreciation for the importance of nature and wildlife. Of course, we do have other animals besides birds, although that's really what we're well known for, is our birds of prey. We also have reptiles and mammals that we use. Notable among those, we have some very large snakes and an American alligator that we do bring into classrooms. In addition to our wildlife programs, we teach ecology. So we bring kids out either here at the sanctuary and teach them about how forest ecosystems work, but we also bring them to the seashore, various sites around Long Island, and teach them about the importance of Long Island's natural habitats along the beaches. We also do pond ecology and really make an effort to bring either wildlife into the classroom or kids out into natural habitats to teach them about the importance of conservation. In addition to the classroom visits and the field trips we do for children, our naturalists here also lead trips for adults and other groups, and some of the more notable ones that we've done, annually we do about 5 or 6 canoe trips to explore Long Island's 3 rivers that are really navigable by canoe. We do adult birding trips, multi-day trips out to Montauk or to other sites, and we've even done in the past, and we'll do in the future, some more international trips. We've led birding trips to places such as Venezuela and Trinidad and Tobago and Mexico. And hopefully we'll visit some of those sites with some groups in the near future.
At the Theodore Roosevelt Sanctuary, we're also involved in some interesting wildlife research as well as education. We survey winter waterfowl wintering in Long Island Sound. We band songbirds and raptors during spring and fall migrations to try to follow their populations. We were involved in restoration projects. We have a meadow restoration going on here at the sanctuary, and more importantly, a grassland restoration at a place called the Hoffman Center. And there, what we're trying to do is restore habitat similar to what we think the Hempstead Plains looked like, in an attempt to allow birds like bobolink and grasshopper sparrows, give them places to breed, and give them places where they can exist as well, because their populations, especially on Long Island, have really declined over the past 50, 60 years.
So you can see that the sanctuary has a lot to offer. We have education programs that are second to none on Long Island and in the metropolitan region. We have cutting-edge research programs. We have volunteer opportunities. And we have a beautiful habitat here that you can come and visit and walk our trails and see some of the native Long Island wildlife that visits us here.